With each day passing, Derby County looks set to complete 2 more transfers over the course of the next few days. Derby County have been on a European scouting mission, and although Stefan Thordarson looks like he's heading to Preston North End, Derby still have their hand in some European clubs and European pies. Derby County looks set to complete the transfer of Kenzo Goudmijn just this week, as well as goalkeeper Matt Ryan joined Derby County on a free transfer after leaving AZ Alkmaar this summer. Now, these 2 transfers could be absolutely massive for Derby County. A brand new goalkeeper in Matt Ryan, 32 years old, and he's played at the highest levels of English and European football over the course of his career. Now coming towards the back stages of his career, but he still has a lot to offer. At just 32 years old, coming and joining Derby County in their championship battle could be absolutely massive for Paul Warne and his squad. It's a goalkeeper who ultimately brings in confidence to his defenders, and a goalkeeper who can definitely take the reins off Joe Wildsmith. Now, with Joe Wildsmith leaving, a lot of people were upset, myself included, but I think this deal just shows exactly what Paul Warne was saying. He could probably get a better or equal goalkeeper than Joe Wildsmith for the same price. Now, ultimately, we will never know the wage that Joe Wildsmith was asking for. We'll never know, ultimately, the wage that Matt Ryan is on. But do I believe that Derby County have got the better end of this deal? I personally believe so. Bringing in a player with European experience and top level experience to a team which arguably is going to be in a championship relegation fight, I think is absolutely massive. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner. Stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League One content that's coming your way. Over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be previewing League One and the Championship, taking a look into each club as it goes on. We're going to do a big long preview video with all of that in, talking about transfers and predictions for each club, and then we're going to have a sole prediction video up until this first week of the season. So make sure you have hit that subscribe button and turned on that notification bell to stay tuned for all the latest content. And if you have not done so already, smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on the potential double signing of Matt Ryan and Kenzo Goudmijn. Let me know your thoughts on that transfer down in the comments. Now, the big question for me around this deal is, are we going to bring in another goalkeeper as third choice? Or is it going to be sort of Matt Ryan, Josh Vickers, and one of the young lads to take that third choice spot? I do think it is a massive deal of who comes in as third choice goalkeeper. We know recently it's been Scott Loach, and then obviously when Vickers was injured, it rotated with a couple of the young lads. But for me, I think that third choice goalkeeper can have a massive effect on the squad, not just in a personality standpoint, but in a standpoint of looking after some of the other players, keeping in touch with what is really needed, and essentially helping out with those younger players, something Scott Loach was excellent at. Now, the next transfer I want to get on to talking about is Kenzo Goudmijn. Now, obviously we know his name translates as Kenzo Goudmijn, and I think this could be an absolute magnificent signing. Now, ultimately we lost out on Stefan Thordarson in a similar role. He seems to be on his way to Preston North End. Now, I personally, a lot of people are talking about missing out on targets and first choice, second choice, blah, blah, blah. But for me, knowing how many midfielders we needed, for me, I think Paul Warne will have had 3 or 4 first choice midfielders. Obviously, Ebou Adams, probably Thordarson, Kenzo, and there's probably another one out there that we haven't yet heard of. Now, for me, I think Kenzo comes in with absolutely a lot of ability. I think he comes in and could certainly play in that role next to an Ebou Adams. Now, obviously, we've got to get Ebou Adams through the door as well. Obviously, talks seem to be progressing along that front, but we don't have any concrete evidence that a bid is to be accepted anytime soon. So I'm really interested to see how this one does go. Obviously, Kenzo comes in as a midfielder who can play within pretty much all the roles of midfield. From the videos and clips I've seen, he looks like he can put in a fairly good set piece as well. Looks like he's really good on the ball, and I think we could have found ourselves a gem here. The rumoured deal with Kenzo is a rumoured fee of around £600,000 on a 4-year contract from AZ Alkmaar. Now, I believe that to be an absolutely fantastic deal and an absolute steal for a player that is just 22 years old with over 100 senior appearances. I think he could come in and do a real good job for Derby County. I think we're building into a side that could potentially play, not just be what we did last season in a not necessarily a hoof and go, but certainly become more of a progressive passing side. And losing Max Bird this summer will definitely be a loss. We know that. But hopefully, with the players we're bringing in, we can certainly replace that loss of Max Bird and Conor Horahan and Corey Smith with younger, more athletic players. Obviously, we've already got Liam Thompson, Tyrese Forner and Kenzo Goudmijn set to sign for those midfield roles. Obviously, Ben Osborne can come in as well. Obviously, Jake Rooney can step up. So it's one of those for me where I think this deal could be absolutely fantastic for the club. It obviously means with the signing of potentially Matt Ryan, that means we'll have 2 senior goalkeepers. With the signing of Kenzo Goudmijn, that means we'd have 3 senior midfielders. Now, the big question around midfield is how many more players do you think we need? I personally would say we probably still need 2 or 3 in that midfield role. If we bring in Ebou Adams, obviously 2. I think we need enough players who are natural midfielders so that we can play either a 3 or a 2, because that's something that I think is massive for being able to facilitate different tactics as the season goes on. Now, obviously, you do have the likes of Barkhazen who can drop in, Ben Osborne who can come in, but ultimately they're not natural midfielders. Ben Osborne kind of is, but kind of isn't. So it's one of those where you sort of facilitating around certain players. So I think it's massive. We get in probably 2 or 3 more after Kenzo. I think there's a massive opportunity here for Derby County. Hopefully we're still shopping in that European market. Maybe we could pick up another number 9. Obviously with just Jerry Yates, James Collins and Connor Washington, it looks like it could be an interesting number 9 role and certainly somewhere that we should be looking to improve. A lot of people I know aren't particularly big fans of James Collins. I can't say I particularly agree with the decision to re-sign him, but ultimately I understand the decision. He's definitely a standard setter, and that's something which the club needs in every position. Now, obviously, we don't really have a standard setter in midfield. I think Ebou Adams will take that role when he comes in. Ben Osborne, maybe. I do potentially think we probably need another centre-half. We look a bit light in that area, but then obviously that depends on the thoughts with Ryan Niambi and Jake Rooney. So it's going to be a really interesting end to this transfer window. There's a lot more deals to be done by Derby County as we head up towards the first pre-season friendly. We play Matlock this Saturday. I'm going to have a video out probably Thursday evening, giving all my thoughts around what we should expect from the pre-season friendly. Obviously, I can't really do an in-depth dive into Matlock Town, but it's one of those where I think it could be absolutely massive for the club. Matlock have gone through a bit of turmoil over the past few weeks, months, essentially, with managerial changes and big squad changes, which is sort of normal for non-league, but Derby County will be heading into that game looking to secure a decent result. Obviously, there's now a connection between Derby's under-21s and Matlock Town, with Derby's 21s playing their games there. So it is going to be really interesting to see what does happen with that one. Obviously, all the friendlies are really important, but all of them are important for different reasons. So make sure, if you have not done so already, you hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for all of the latest Derby County content coming your way. We're going to have loads of Championship and League One videos coming over the course of the season once it gets started. So if you are a fan of any Championship or League One club, I would advise you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell and stay tuned for when those videos come. Over the course of the next month, probably around the first week of August, we're going to chuck in some prediction videos for League One and the Championship, and we're going to have a sort of a big long preview video for both League One and the Championship, so make sure you are around for that, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.